Screech by TarynMcT. Read by Oakshadow5. Chapter 10. Okay, so if we're not going in the front door, how are we going to do this? Uraraka asked with her head tilted. Oh, that's easy, Izuku countered. From the roof, see? He pointed to the building schematics. There's roof access. It'd be simple to get in through there. I can't really make myself weightless long enough to scale a building, though, Uraraka tried to counter. Oh, I don't need you to. I can carry you up there. Izuku stretched his wings. Unless you weigh over 200 kilos, I can get you to the roof. I can't take you on a super long flight or anything, but a quick hop up to the roof is easy. I'm only about 50, Uraraka said. Plenty light enough for a hop to the roof, Izuku confirmed. As soon as the match starts, I'm going to carry you to the roof. From there, we'll enter from the roof access. I'll probably be able to hear where Ida and Bakugo are once we get in the building. What do you want me to do? She asked. Izuku had to think for a moment. If we somehow manage to run into Bakugo, as unlikely as it is, I'll have to be the one to fight. Bakugo will ignore you. But if you don't run into him, I distract Ida and you grab the bomb. Sound good? Yes, let's do this! Everything went according to plan. They entered from the roof access. Ida was one floor below them, monologuing to himself, and Izuku could hear Bakugo stomping around on the first floor, screaming for Izuku to come out and fight him. Uraraka and Izuku silently crept to the room Ida was in with the bomb, and with a shared look, Uraraka ran to the bomb as Izuku intercepted Ida's mad dash to stop her. Seconds later, All Might's voice called out that the hero team won. But, of course, no interaction with Bakugo could ever go that smoothly. As they were on their way down the stairs, they ran into Bakugo, who had stomped his way up. Deku, how the fuck did you get past me? I flew, Izuku answered simply. With my wings, he added as he spread them a little. Use this freak, that's cheating! You are supposed to enter from the front door! He screamed. The rules simply stated the hero team needed to enter the building, Ida tried to reason. The rules never stated how they had to enter. As Bakugo growled at them, Uraraka said, Let's head back. I want to see how the other teams fight. They all started heading down the stairs, Ida and Uraraka in the lead chatting happily, with Izuku close behind them. Don't fucking ignore me, Bakugo hissed. Looking over his shoulder, turning his head around a full 180 degrees like an owl would, Izuku deadpanned. We're not ignoring you. We're done with the exercise. Don't you talk to me like that, you freak! Bakugo shouted and ran up to Izuku with both hands primed up for explosions. Izuku dodged out of the way and ducked out of the stairwell into the second floor. Bakugo, what are you doing? The match is over! He asked the insane teen. The match is over when you're dead, Deku! He retorted. Izuku stopped running and turned to Bakugo. Don't call me Deku. If you're going to call me by my name, then call me Screech, but not Deku. Bakugo's response was a signature right hook that Izuku grabbed and threw over his shoulder, while both Uraraka and Ida called for Bakugo to stop attacking. Bakugo got up and went to attack Izuku again, and when it became clear that Bakugo wasn't going to stop, Izuku pulled out a staff, and with a sigh of resignation got into a defensive stance. Bakugo, you will stop this immediately! All Might's voice called out over the intercoms, which Bakugo promptly ignored. If you continue this, you will be given detention. Bakugo continued to ignore All Might and pressed his attacks on Izuku, who had managed to dodge and block all of the explosions so far, much to Bakugo's mounting frustration. I can do this all day, Bakugo, Izuku said. But you really should stop. You're already about to get detention. Bakugo growled and backed up a few steps. You know how my quirk works, right, Deku? Well, if these gauntlets were designed how I wanted them to be, they've been collecting my sweat for a good while now. Bakugo leveled a twisted smirk at Izuku. Let's see you handle this! They could hear All Might yelling at Bakugo to stop, but that didn't even make Bakugo slow down on pulling the pin on his gauntlets. Izuku only had a few seconds to think, and he realized that both Ida and Uraraka were behind him, and if he dodged, then they would be the ones to take the hit. Izuku didn't have much of a choice. He took a deep breath and had loose a Screech slightly more powerful than the one from the quirk assessment. His thinking proved to be accurate, and the Screech cancelled out the explosion, keeping himself and his two classmates behind him safe from the huge explosion. However, he had miscalculated a little and had put too much force into the Screech. Bakugo had been blasted back, thrown into and through two walls, including the outer wall of the building. Izuku darted forward, hoping that he hadn't hurt Bakugo too badly, and when he looked out the wall to the ground below, he saw the explosive teen starting to shakily stand. Izuku breathed a sigh of relief. He hadn't killed his former friend. Hitoshi had been watching along with the rest of the class, and when it became apparent that the situation was not going to be resolved quickly or easily by All Might, Hitoshi had sent his dad a text that there was a problem at the training grounds. His dad has replied that he was on his way. So now, Hitoshi was watching with the class as Bakugo attacked Izuku, and as Izuku easily held his own. Hitoshi was extremely impressed, as that's what almost he had learned from Dad over the past few months, and his brother was killing it. He moved like that stuff was an extension of his own body, and not just a big stick he had been handed 3 months ago, and wished the best of luck. As he was watching, Hitoshi realized something. He wasn't watching Midoriya Izuku fighting. He wasn't watching the boy he sparred with constantly. His moves were more fluid, more precise. The boy on the screen was not his brother. That was the experienced vigilante Screech. This is what Izuku meant when he said that Screech was a different person, when he said he was confident as Screech. Screech was using moves he'd never seen his brother use in any of the previous sparring matches. He was fighting in a way that, while based on moves Dad had taught, were completely new, as if tailored to this fight with Bakugo. His wings constantly fluttered, adding speed to his movements and distracting his opponent, while his staff kept the attacks away from himself. And then as he watched, Bakugo stepped back, said something, and Izuku's face paled. Whatever was about to happen next, it was going to be big. Bakugo pulled the pin on his gauntlet, and Izuku let loose a massive screech, one so loud that everyone in the observation room could hear it, even though the cameras didn't have audio. They watched as Bakugo's explosion was stopped, and as the force of the sound wave threw him into and through the walls and outside the building. "Holy shit," Kaminari whispered, breaking Hitoshi out of his stupor. "Midoriya is so manly," Kirishima exclaimed. "But man, Bakugo, that was not cool." As the rest of the class talked amongst himself, and All Might ran out to see what he could salvage of the situation, while Hitoshi saw his dad arrive at the scene as well. Shota leaned into Hitoshi. "I don't think you guys ever told me Izuku was Screech." Hitoshi raised an eyebrow at Shoto. "You know who Screech is?" Shoto nodded. "Father has been trying to catch him for the better part of 2 years. I have to hear him complain about him nearly every week. Dad has been talking about him for the past 3 years. Me and Pops already felt like we knew him before we ever met." Hitoshi laid his head against Shoto's shoulder. "I've never seen him in action, though." "I thought you spar with him every few days," Shota asked, leaning his head against Hitoshi's. "I spar with Midoriya Izuku. That fight just now. That wasn't my brother. That was Screech." Shota was both pissed off and impressed. Pissed off because he had seen the video footage, and he knew that Bakugo attacked without provocation. And since his version of the footage had audio, he heard Izuku and his other classmates try to de-escalate the situation. Impressed because, holy shit, Izuku had been holding back in his sparring matches. Shota had never seen Screech in action. He had heard his screeches before, seen the aftermath of his fights, watched him fly away, but never had he seen him in action. He had assumed that the training matches with Izuku and Hitoshi was the extent of what the boy could do, but no. He was so much more than he had ever seen from him. But back to what he was doing. Shota clicked his pen and started filling out Bakugo's expulsion papers. He refused to have a student in his class who attacked a classmate after an exercise was completed just because he was being ignored. "Hey, Dad," Hitoshi said as he walked into the kitchen and got a glass of water. "Is that the footage of Izu's match?" "No, it's the footage of the attack after the match." "Screech is a beast, huh? I thought I knew what Izuku could do, but I was wrong." Hitoshi downed half the glass. "We gotta find a way to get him to do that in practice matches." Shota nodded. "Maybe without the actual screeching, though." "Nah, we got the noise-cancelling headphones. We'll be fine." Hitoshi joked. With a raised eyebrow, Shota joked. "Oh, yeah, noise-cancelling headphones will totally stop a sound wave strong enough to throw someone out of a few walls." Hitoshi rubbed the back of his neck. Yeah, guess I was thinking of Papa's quirk there for a second." "He's at least as powerful as Sashi is," Shota stated. "Not as versatile, but that's only a part of his quirk, not the main thing." Hitoshi finished his glass of water and went to wash his glass. "After watching that one-sided beatdown, I can't believe I ever managed to beat him." "I told you so," came a whisper from just outside the kitchen. "Shit, Zuko, I'm gonna put a bell on you," Hitoshi exclaimed, glad he had already put up his glass. He would have dropped it. Izuku huffed out a little laugh and walked up to Shota and leaned against him. "Can I watch it?" "You were in it. Why do you need to watch it?" Shota asked. Izuku shrugged. "I've never seen myself fight before, and I know I slipped into my Screech persona. I want to give Keigo a play-by-play next time I go flying with him." "I suppose you can see the fight, but it'd probably be easier to just play this for Keigo when he comes over next time." Shota reached up and scratched Izuku's head, causing him to chirp softly and nuzzle his head closer to Shota's hand. Shota replayed the video for his new son. Whoa, Izuku whispered. I didn't know it was that good. You could probably beat Shoto in a match if he went all out like that. Hitoshi had walked up to Izuku and had his arm resting on her shoulder. By the way, Sho knows your Screech. Apparently Endeavor has been trying to catch you for about 2 years. Yeah, he's not as fucking easy to avoid, Izuku muttered absently. I almost wish I was a real bird sometimes so I could shit on him whenever he's trying to find me. Yes! Bakugo got expelled! Really, why did he attack Izuku after the exercise was over? Like, that's so dumb! It's clear that you're gonna get expulsion from that. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 10 of Screech, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!